Hi guys, welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be talking about my twin head router. It's based around a Pearson Designs 3D router. I've then added extra features, so I've tried to then create a router underneath. So hence why it's called a twin head router. I've found then it's given me a lot more versatility as to what I can do with it and what I can make. I'll show you the features in this video, and I'm also going to be showing you what I will be adding to it in the future and the improvements. Hence me calling it a prototype, because as you'll see from the video, there's some little bits that need adjusting, changing. I have got future plans for it. I'll run through those at the end of the video once I've shown you what it can do. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now let's start by talking about the standard features on the router table. Now I could start telling you about the standard fence at the back that's adjustable, how it's got vacuum extract at the back of it, how the side plates can be adjusted to suit the vacuum extract at the back. I could also tell you that it can be used as a jointer by adding shims in the back of the fence, even talk about the top extrusions, how I can add stops to it when needed, etc, etc, etc. Let's stop talking about standard features on a router table. You guys can find that out from a standard search on YouTube on router table basics. Let's broach the subject of what I want to talk about, which is why I've built this machine. So there's two reasons why I built this machine. The first one being I wanted a compact piece of kit that could do lots of tasks, more than what a standard router table would do, without taking up lots of space in the workshop. The second one, the idea is that this is a bridge between a CNC machine and using a hand router that then allowed me to do more tasks and set the jobs up quicker than what would take to faff around for me on a computer, setup, etc, etc, and all the other processes that you have to go through with the CNC machining. So it's a bridge to speed up jobs and allow me to work more efficiently. So let's move on to the added features of this router. So you can see here that I've got the standard spindle attached at the top. This is a Bosch router with a 43mm collar, which allows me to essentially exchange that off and fit my standard 43mm drill, which now converts it essentially into a pillar drill, but again a more versatile pillar drill, because as you can see here I can move it around to whatever positions I like. A lot of small pillar drills are fixed, very limited as to the depth of material you can fit in. This allows me to drill lots of holes in large sheets of whatever material I'm using. Here then I'm adding the other feature, which is the flattening part of it. So as I said, people have flattening jigs that take up loads of space. This one doesn't, it's part of the same machine. So I can set this up, flatten wood quite easily. When I'm flattening this, I've got a depth stop that I can control from the top. So as I move it, tweak it down, I can move the backwards and forwards to machine it, then tweak it again a bit more on the depth stop. It's really handy. I can do up to around 800 wide, which is quite a wide sheet of wood. And obviously I can move the machine around and do quite a long length if I want. This is just an example on here. It's a small little cutter. I'm yet to purchase a larger cutter, which a lot of people do use. Another advantage to this overhead router is that I can machine juice grooves This is easily done with the stops that I have on the left to right gantry. I also have stops fitted on the lower gantry for forwards and backwards. This also helps me make slots or mortises that essentially you would have to normally do blind on a router mounted from underneath. The next feature of this machine is a pin router. This is easily converted as I have a secondary plate that just has a pin. This then allows me to easily cut circles when I need to. If I needed to do a top without a hole, I can use a then secondary plate with a hole in and use the old trick of tape and glue to temporarily create a pivot point. And with setting the circle diameters, it's quite easy. Just a case of moving the gantry over to whatever desired diameter you want. I can go up to about 700mm with this. Another advantage with this pivot point is that I can again put grooves in, but this time now circular grooves. So another thing I want to talk about with pin routing is templates. So the idea of templates and using a pin router is that you're able to dish out the top of a material to make different shapes. So an example would be you would take this, attach this to the back of the material that you're doing, and then the pin can follow around the profile underneath while you're machining out the top. So let me show you a couple of examples that I've done. So this was a EDC tray, if you want, that sort of thing. The idea was with this was so it's machined out look from, so I used the template on the back and machined out from the front the all the different trays that I wanted. I also did it on this one as well. I also used it as you can machine out the profile on the outside as well. So once it's attached on the wood, you can machine out the outside and you can dish out all in one. So this is the beauty of pin routers. They're really good to replicate stuff. You could use it for font, that sort of thing. Lends itself really well if you've got a laser cutter, because to make templates, it's really convenient with the laser cut. You set out what you want, cut them out, you use the pin, follows the line, and away you go. Machining out really quickly and giving yourself really great results as well. Talking of laser cutting, don't forget to check out my 10 laser cut things to help out your woodworking. Okay guys, so let's give you a quick rundown on, I'll try and be brief with this so I don't waffle too much, you know, I'm a bit prone to waffling. Key plans going forward is to standardise this. I sort of realised to show you guys I need to go down the road of supplying the idea with standard parts. So this was made with non-standard aluminium extrusion. I want to move away from that. I want to use the 2020 aluminium extrusion and that form of to standardise everything that's made with it. This is also made with what they call HPL, which is high pressure laminate. And again, it's expensive. I used what I had at the time. I will probably recycle it and use it for templates and that sort of thing and jigs later down the line. But in the meantime, I want to revert it back, so it will more than likely get made with birch ply and using then the standard aluminium box section. I also want to use this type of rail. These are non-standard down here, as well as the ones behind here. So I'm going to standardise that so that you guys could essentially buy it off the shelf from Amazon or eBay and that sort of place. What else? I'm going to also improve everything on it. So the top's going to get made into a standard router top and size, so that you can essentially, if you wanted to, buy a router table that's a standard thing from a store and then potentially add the top section. So I'm trying to unravel this design around that aspect of it, so that I can make it easier for you guys to reproduce, get plans, buy all the parts. I'll be able to then share you all the bits and guide you in the right direction as to how to build this thing in a more standard way. So that's the improvements I want to make to the actual machine. I've also got other ideas that I'm going to start adding to it. So add-ons, I've got 3 off the top of my head. I've got 3 add-ons at the minute that I'm going to do, which is, for this moving forward, I've given it an overhang. So the idea is I'll be able to have a front plate attached to here and potentially be able to use, again, laser cut profiles to make various different dovetail machining. So that can add that feature to it, so that you can machine dovetails, whether through ones or blind. Another feature I want to add, this is from my laser cutter. Now I can use it on there. Essentially it is a step motor that you can plug in. I have an upgrade where I'm going to control this independently, so that I can potentially do rotary machining on this. It'll either be mounted down the front, like with the dovetailing, or I'm going to then change this head so that I can potentially add an attachment and move the head higher up, so that I can do overhead machining on the rotary. And we'll be able to show you what I can do with that. Lots of process ideas that I've got to make things more interesting. I'm trying to challenge myself as to what I'm going to make and how I make it, and try and do things different. The other idea I've got was a rotary table. I will put a picture here so that you can see what I'm talking about. The idea was to give me more control over how much I rotate something by a certain amount of degrees. So again, I've got more control as to where I can machine on a rotary, with regards to, say, machining flat spots, machining grooves in a certain way. It's hard to explain, and I think you'd understand more once I get it made and I'll show you what I can do with it. So yeah, as daft as it sounds, I'm actually going to really rebuild the entire thing, but for you guys to follow along and see the process of, as I said, to standardise it. I'm really happy with the base. The wheels work great. The drawer underneath, it's got storage underneath, that works great. I want to improve dust extraction. I want to improve the overhang, the depth stops, standardise a lot of this, where you can buy stuff off the shelf to it. Lots of stuff like that. You'll get it as the series progresses. As I say, to follow along the story better, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you know when you've got new videos coming out. I'm going to attempt to sort of get 1 a month in, and we'll see where we go from there. If we can get more, then it's going to be great. But this is a development series of this machine. You can see its potential. I just want to make it more accessible for you guys to make and reproduce. Yeah guys, thank you for watching. It is really appreciated, as always, and I hope to see you in the next one. I'm going to start making these outtakes a thing. You know I waffle. Oh dear, don't do I waffle. You know when I talked about the first workshop tour and I went, this is unscripted. This is still unscripted. Just winging it completely. I actually prefer talking to this, winging it, than actually bothering to write scripts. I do apologise for waffles and repeating myself. See you next time.